Picture this. Imagine you're in your childhood bedroom, sitting in front of your desk and staring very intently at your laptop screen. Today is the day your SAT or ACT scores are to be posted online. You take a moment to reflect on the last few months. You've studied your hardest, balanced several responsibilities, and sacrificed several tempting outings with friends along the way. Constantly, you have been working to try and attain a favorable score. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of waiting, you refresh your screen for the last time and a message appears. Your results have been posted. Click here to see your scores. A rush of emotion rushes through your veins as you open up the link that, theoretically, determines your future. You're so anxious, you're excited, you could hardly stand to look, and then you muster the courage to finally look, and you thought you would do better. But you studied so hard, and you put in the work and the time, and this is the harsh reality that many students go through year after year. My own experience of taking the standardized tests made me question, is the score you get on a singular test really enough to determine your future? Today, I would like to share why I think that standardized tests are not always an accurate determination of a student's potential level of success in college. I have several reasons as to back up my claims. First, standardized tests were not created to measure potential academic success. Second, disabilities such as ADHD and ADD can hinder a student's testing abilities. And third, the severe amount of pressure and anxiety present at and around the testing times can extremely deteriorate one's mental health. Personally, I believe that high school GPAs are a much better method to predict one's future success in college. For over a century, universities from around the United States have used standardized tests as a method in which they would determine who to accept into their institutions. According to iSchool University of Washington.edu, in 1905, Alfred Binet, who was a renowned French psychologist, created the first intelligent quotient tests, also known as IQ tests, to observe children's mental age and determine where students struggled the most in their academics and what they needed assistance on. This same test went through various adaptations over the last 10 decades, but have not deviated from its original purpose. According to educationweek.org, college admissions exams can't do a good job of measuring students' mastery of their state's academic standards because they were not crafted to gauge students' grasp of those standards. There are many factors that could also hinder a student's ability to test well. Lack of sleep, anxiety, and disabilities such as ADHD and ADD are all leading factors. There is also a fact that pressure due to time constraints can hinder testing abilities. There is a set time limit of 3 hours on the test. That's 180 minutes without breaks, split into 3 sections with 60 minutes per section. There is also an optional 4th section on the SAT, consisting of a written essay that adds up to an hour more of time. Knowing this can lead to anxiety in the testers, constantly looking at the clock, tapping their desks, and not being able to focus in general. They could feel as though they did not have enough time to finish, and often sections are left unfinished because of their mentality. Students also cannot go back and complete the section once their time has elapsed. The test can also leave its testers in a deteriorated state of mental health. Severe anxiety and monetary problems can make teenagers push themselves past their physical and psychological limits to the point where they're essentially beating up their own body. Some, in fact, do this because they may not have enough money to take the test repeatedly. Others do not want to deal with any additional possible months of stress that come with taking the 3-hour exam that determines what college you might be accepted into. I personally have been a witness to multiple people who decide to either not attend or begrudgingly attend a college that they did not like because they did not score well on either the SAT or ACT exam. According to the website ifstudies.org, teens who study from test anxiety are not given a fair chance to demonstrate their intelligence because of strict time constraints. They have a hard time focusing on the exam itself and spend a lot of time in their own mind, easily distracted even though they try extremely hard to focus. This can lead to a lot of wasted time and possible unfinished parts of the exam itself. If colleges instead were to implement the use of a student's GPA through high school, most of the problems that arise from the stress of these exams would dissipate, resulting in much better health in many of these areas, including mental health, physical, and emotional. There would also not be this immense financial burden, nor would there be an extraneous amount of pressure placed on the students balancing school, extracurricular activities, and countless hours of studying for the test, which in fact does not determine the rest of your life. According to APA.org, Monitor staff member Christopher Munsey at the American Psychological Association stated that about every 1 in 5 children ages 8 to 17 admit to worrying either a lot or a little in terms of how their academic career is going and where they will end up. In fact, those same children that they surveyed demonstrated more attributes pertaining to being stressed than their parents did. In conclusion, last year's graduating class of 2020, according to usnews.com, stated that approximately 2.2 million students in the United States participated in taking the SAT, and around 1.7 million students participated in taking the ACT. The number of people taking the exams are greatly increasing every year, with 2020 yielding the highest quantity. This, however, is not exactly such a positive thing. As the years and student population increases, so does the amount of stress and anxiety. Kids are depressed over these exams and worried sick about disappointing family members, friends, and even themselves. Taking these tests and scoring poorly severely decreases one's self-esteem and severely decreases self-worth and value. The standardized tests may sound like they're beneficial, but in reality, they are actually causing a lot of harm, and it's time to do something about it. By eliminating these standardized tests, we can increase mental health promotion and get our kids back to learning in a more natural, free environment. Thank you.